Hey, so today we're going to talk about foreign settlements and what exactly you have to look for in a horoscope to see if someone's going to settle outside the country or if they're ever going to even visit a country outside of their demographic. So in astrology, the way you can figure out if someone's going to settle in, foreign lands, or if you're going to, leave your current homeland and go somewhere permanently, you have to check the conditions of the 12th, 1st, 2nd, 7th, and 9th house. And mainly, you have to check the conditions of the 12th and the 2nd house to see if you're going to permanently settle somewhere. And the way you do that is by looking at the ascendant lord, and like that's your first house, your rising sign, the lord, the planet that's controlling that sign. You got to see where it's placed. So if your ascendant lord is far away, the further away your ascendant lord is from the ascendant, the more chances you have of going abroad. So once you go into first house, and the planet of the first house is placed in the seventh house. Seventh house is also considered foreign settlement because it's away from your body. It's away from where you are. So if it's settled in the seventh house, then it gives opportunity to settle abroad. If the first house is in the ninth house, okay, that also gives long distance settlements. However, if the first house is in the ninth house, it gives long journey. So let's say you might go somewhere and stay in a country for 6-7 years, but you might eventually come back. Okay, but if the first house is in the 12th house, because 12th house represents foreign settlements, that's the most important. It represents long distance travel, overseas travel. So if your ascendant lord is in the 12th house and 11th house, that shows that, okay, this person is going to settle into foreign lands permanently. Now, another thing you check is the second house. Second house is your family, your nurturing environment, the family that you grew up in. That's what second house represents. Now, if the lord of that house, okay, is away from that place all the way to, let's say it's in the ninth house or 12th house, okay? So if second lord is in the 9th house or 12th house, that also signifies foreign travel. And especially if the second lord is delineated and it's weak, so what happens when a planet is weak? It takes you away from your family. So let's say if your second house is ruled by the sun, okay, and sun is sitting in Libra, anywhere, that means the 4th house, okay? So if your second house is ruled by the sun, which is Leo, and sun is sitting in the 4th house of Libra, that means it's delineated, it's weak. It's not keeping you where you were, where you grew up. So what it does, in a benefic way, it takes you away from that home environment. It takes you away from home. It separates you from your family at a very, very early age. If second house has Saturn and Rahu in it, Saturn and Rahu in the second house separates you from your family permanently. That means it's going to take you away from your homeland. So most of the time, in my own analysis when I used to do, whenever I saw Saturn and Rahu in the second house, it shows settlements permanent in the foreign land. Now, that settlement could be like in the same demographic, same hemisphere. So if you're in India, you might end up in Indonesia or Hong Kong or Japan, or you might go into Europe. Now, for people who travel from India to United States or United States to Europe, that's when the 12th house comes into play. So if you have Rahu, Saturn, and the ascendant lord in the 12th house, or the lord of the second house is in the 12th house, that signifies your permanent settlement in a different country. And ninth house is pretty much a long distance journey. Ninth house is known as a religious pilgrimage, meaning that you go to the pilgrimage, you meet that deity, that god, and you come back. But ninth house is also for overseas travel. So if you want to visit some place, okay, if you're looking to temporarily visit some place, or if you will ever visit some land away from where you are, check your ninth house. Okay, check your 7th house and 9th house. Those houses also signifies long distance travel. So 7th house, even though it signifies long distance travel, 7th house is also about permanent settlement outside. But mainly, it's the 2nd, 1st, and 12th house. So you want to see the condition. If the first house, planet is in the first house, and you don't have Rahu or Saturn in the second house, or you don't have any of these planets in the 12th house, then it makes it difficult for a person to settle in foreign lands. Now, people also say that 4th house is also considered, your home. your home life. Okay, so if the fourth lord goes into the 12th house, okay, that means you will go across country from the from your home. So second and fourth house represent your family and your home environment. Those lords, if they're weak, debilitated, that means they're taking you away from home. Okay, and if Rahu is in the fourth house, if Rahu is in the second house, Rahu in the 12th house, seventh house, ninth house signifies foreign travel. So malefics in the second house, fourth house, malefics is what? Mars, Rahu, Ketu, Saturn. Okay, but mainly Rahu and Saturn create separation, as well as Ketu. Ketu is about separation, it's about liberation. So it liberates you from your family. So when Ketu is in the second house, it's doing the same thing. So this is why it's very important to know a detailed horoscope versus your sun sign and moon sign, and see if your sun sign this year says you're going to travel. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, it doesn't mean anything to me, at least. Okay, but anyway, if you want to know more about these things and other secrets, real astrology, check out the link below. Otherwise, definitely subscribe above and check out my channel, because it's all about these things. It's about telling you, stop looking at your daily, weekly sun sign, even moon sign. What really matters is your horoscope, and this is why astrology becomes real. When you look at a real horoscope, when you analyze a horoscope. Okay, so anyway, hope this thing helped you guys.